Editor Ham here. K10 is very loud in the first few episodes. Please pay no heed to it. I still need to edit the audio on it, but once it's done, it will be complete. Sorry for the inconvenience, but please enjoy the video. Catch these guys after. Hello, welcome. This is Satisfactory, a game about... a game about building factories and making life much easier for yourself in this game. My name is Sgt.HamNutz. You just go Ham or Sergeant, whichever one, and this is K10, one of my mates.
How you doing, HamNutz?
I'm alright. Been a long day today, so...
Fair enough.
Satisfactory is, as abbreviated, is all about building factories, making everything in this game easier to do. Like building colossal factories, automated systems, railways, everything. Make sure you have power set up. But yeah, we thought we'd start in the grassy field so that it's the base location. Everyone starts here when you first open up the game, when you first start playing. So, first off, we better get the hub set up.
Build the hub. Ham, do you want to explain to the audience, first off, some little context about us being, like, what makes us, like, qualified to play the fucking game?
Yes, think of it as two brain cells fighting for third place. Let's just say that. But but K10 here has, what, over 400 plus hours in the game now?
Yeah, I have beaten the game in its entirety at least once. I've got a few other saves that are doing quite well. But Mr. HamNutz over here has taken my advice when we've been playing casually and just been putting his own spin on it, making things much better, honestly. I tend to make a spaghetti mess. He's making things that are very organized and neat and very nerdy and very cool looking.
Yes. So
with our powers combined, we are half a functional human.
Like always. Alright. Now, a good part about the grassy plains biome, or map, start off, whatever you call it, is that it has a lot of basic resources like your iron, copper, limestone, coal, depending on where you go.
It's a very beginner-friendly starting point. Not that we couldn't have done anything like a more challenging one, but for people that are just starting off, we think that this is basically what 90% of people are going to go with, because
it's where
this is where I started. Yeah, it's the easiest thing to start with to kind of get your bearings, and then you can go off from there.
Yeah.
We've got the big old stinky rock over there. We've got the nice little archway. We've got Moth flying around.
Where is Moth, by the way? Moth is
he should be around. Here we are.
Yeah, where?
Just coming through the stinky rock.
Start coming through the stinky rock? No. Oh, there's Moth. Yeah.
Looking like a B-52.
Yes. Alright. Now, grassy fields is a lot of good places to start, like to set up your base of operations, but a lot of people have different ways of wanting to set up their factory. Like me, when I start in grassy plains, I like to set up near a coal node, so that when I start getting into using coal power, This
is one of multiple edibles we have detected in your vicinity, which are within approved nutritional and medical categories as established by R&D. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
Did you hear that, HamNutz? I just found edibles.
Yes. Alright. So what we'll do is, while we're running over to where we're going to build this factory, we will be collecting leaves on the way so that we at least have something to use for our biomass burners. I'm here, you tapping the E key. A little tip for you is that if you just hover over it, hold E, every time you run over any more, you'll just pick it up automatically. So yeah, we'll run our way.
Good solid tip.
Yes. It always helps. especially like in the early game, especially because doing stuff like this, like you're going to be running out of biomass to power everything. So our first objective, kind of technically in the game, where if I was to hit Q, head over to the right half of the panel, it glows grey. So say if I was to go that, and then if I remember correctly, it was, yep, alright. And if we start off with doing this, we'll get our, in this episode, we'll get our iron underway.
Mm-hmm. So, first resource that any new prospective player wants to get their hands on and get a production started with is iron. It's the most used resource in the game. So it's good to have a good infrastructure of that. So find yourself some nodes. Luckily we've got a few over here. Also a copper node in the back there. This is originally where I planted my first base when I started my 400-hour world. So I'm very familiar with this area.
Yeah. So I'm hoping you can see that, but on the right half of us, on the right side of our screen, we've got 4 objectives for this. First one being obviously iron, the next will be our copper, limestone, and then basic machinery. So we need to
Limestone.
Yes, I know, I can't spell anyway.
No, yeah, welcome to Two Dyslexics. So do not trust anything we write down. Spelling mistakes are aplenty in this game, as well as mispronunciations, misheard, and just general fuckery.
Yes. Well, while we're here, we'll equip the Xeno Zapper, which is pretty much the basic weapon that you start off with in anything. And
basically a 50-volt taser.
Yes. And because we've got 2, what is this, iron nodes right here, as well as a good old
protected
hog.
my...
And these guys are aggressive. They charge. Like that. And if you get hit by it, it is fun. And they drop remains.
The remains of this creature might shed light on how to increase chances of survival. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
Alright. Now, each node that you'll find in Satisfactory has 3 different states. You have impure, normal, and then pure. Your impure nodes are more, if I can jump up here, will give you less resources altogether, but also come in handy if you're building machineries that require like a very specific amount type thing. So
yeah, this game is all about automation, balancing the numbers, making sure that everything runs into each other and flows correctly.
Oh, hey, quartz.
Doesn't always have to work that way. You can do what I did in the first 40 hours of my thing and just do a spaghetti mess.
Spaghetti mess, yes. That's why I am here.
Yes.
And movement in this
I have the experience and the hours. He has the not spaghetti.
Yes. Movement in this game is
Call me Chef
really easy.
Chef Boyardee.
Oh, hey. Found a crashed pod. In Satisfactory, you'll be finding things like this, which are known as crash pods. They have a resource known as I just been hit. Has a resource known as hard drives. Hard drives are for gathering alternative recipes for your builds. Like, one of the best recipes in the game, which I know, is steel screws. Being 200.
Yeah, that thing is crazy.
240 a minute compared to the basic 50 per minute.
I think it's 15.
15. Okay.
Right. Or 15 or 30 per minute, going off iron rods.
Yeah.
That's a little bit technical, so we'll get in a deep dive in that later.
Yeah.
For now, let's just go find a nice place to set down some roots.
The basin? What about the basin?
The
basin's usually a good start.
Should mention, any arachnophobes. There are spiders in this game that terrify even me, and I don't have arachnophobia, so...
long story short with
caution advised.
Long story short with me, yes. Alright, now one of the most key things that you will be having to use in this game is your V button constantly. This will bring up a search wheel, which is for scanning different items, like for scanning for iron ore, copper ore, or limestone. Like if we were to scan for iron, it'll do a ping.
Sends out a nice little bat signal.
And there we have. We've got iron.
Not sponsored by DC. Please, DC, don't sue us.
Yes.
We will never financially recover from that.
Nope, and never. Alright. Well,
Alright.
I reckon about here, because we do have a few good iron nodes around here. Copper, on the other hand, being one of those ones which is...
There is a copper node just over there that I believe is either a normal or a pure node.
Alright.
There are also endemic life. And some things like this. If you're HamNutz, if you want to have a look. These are power slugs. These are extremely useful. They come in 3 colors, blue, yellow, and purple. Get them every time you see them, if you can. They're normally protected.
Yes. With what the power slugs do, they allow you to craft them into power shards, which can mean overclocking your machineries, your power generation, everything like that. It's pretty much to help you, but as K10 even said, they are always protected. Even the
not always. Some are just difficult to get to.
Like a lot of the blue
others
ones,
are protected.
Yeah, a lot of the
Speaking
blue
of protected.
ones are... Alright, we are at a copper node. While he's dealing with that, this is a normal copper node.
Ow.
Alright, right here, if you can see, like, obviously you're watching the video on my end. Like, this area here is a perfect start type thing. You've got limestone over there, if I'm correct, about 3 copper nodes, and then you have 3 iron nodes, and then you have a copper node up here. So,
yep.
And then you have
There's also 2 impure nodes down there.
Yes. And you have a cave full of spiders, and I made the mistake of going in there first off.
Yeah, that's a pretty scary cave. Although on the other side of it, you come outside of that hill, and there is another 3 to 4 iron nodes.
So
yeah, the grassy plains are rich with iron. They really need to see a doctor about that. They've got some really bad iron intake stuff.
Well, at least this place isn't iron deficient. Alright, so we'll take out this ball.
I think too much iron's a bit more of a problem, though.
Yeah. Alright.
Check your iron levels, peoples. They're important.
Alright, so this will be our base of operations. So what we'll do is we'll set up the hub. We'll set it up so it's not too much of an inconvenience to everything. So we'll set it up out here, close to Stink Rock.
Yep.
We'll keep the power facing this way. Also, if there's something else you want to know, if you want to align everything to the world grid, hold control. Usually, majority of the time, depending on certain items, if you hold control on all your basic machine, like all your foundations and all that, that will lock to the world grid. So that if you build factories in different areas, it will all be aligned and will always meet up. I don't think you knew about that, did you?
The control? No, that's a new one for me.
Oh.
Normally, I have open air factories, so nothing is aligned.
That is true. And then here's me with enclosed, so it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
All right. So our first.
We have 2 different styles.
Yep,
it's gonna be fun.
Our first objective is to get our iron production underway with some basic machinery. In our inventories, what we start off with is known as portable miners. So, say for a fact, I go.
You start off with portable miner?
Yeah, you start off with portable miners.
I don't.
Oh, well, maybe I was the host. But with portable miners, you can make them in the workshop. Use left click onto any node, and they'll open up. Alright, K10, if you want to come over to me,
Yep.
I'll drop down 1 so you can go place it on top of that copper node, eh?
Hey.
So K10 will go and start sorting out that copper node for us, so we can start at least getting basic
Yoink.
copper in. Our main objective for this first episode, apart from being informative and all that, is to get our basic iron production going, which is iron rods, iron plates, and screws. Copper.
It's hilarious us being so freaking serious.
Yeah.
we're just a bunch of idiots, and like, I think we're just trying to be informative for you guys and trying to help new players out. We're just idiots. Don't take our word as gospel. Do your own thing.
Yeah, that is true. Like,
fun.
That is true. Like, don't worry. I got a feeling later in this series, you're just going to be hearing us rambling on about, like, different stuff.
Yeah.
But nah.
We all have our special interests and things we could rant on for ages about.
Yes, like last night with you talking about Bleach for like an hour.
Yeah, I'm a massive nerd. Love me some anime, love me games, love me history, love me weaponry. Just, I have way too much time on my hands that I fill it full of random garbage.
Yeah, be about right. I'm the exact same. Alright. This, just to say that this limestone node here is an impure node, so it'll give us half of like what we really need, but it's always still good to have on hand, especially because
An impure node is still a good node.
Yes.
There are no bad nodes.
Yes. Alright. So my first job will be getting a spare craft bench set up and a workshop. Unless you're, because if one person is at the craft bench, you can't use it.
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying like that, but...
Alright. This right here is pretty much your best friend, the hub. This will... This...
That's not the right sound, but we all know what we're talking about.
This is where you have your milestones, like where you have all your logistics and everything like that. So... First off, our best, like me personally, I always start to get base building out of the way first because I like to start making my factories at the start. But it's resource heavy. But for this playthrough, I think our best option probably will be logistics to start off with, or field research. Logistics. It's just so that we can have the ability to get everything set up and underway, like being able to split off our smelters and all that. Say, what is it?
Personally, I would go with base building.
Base building?
Because foundations and lookout towers are, well, the foundations of your game. They're a handy tool to be able to explore and build your factory and start getting somewhere that you can actually like playing in.
Alright, so if you want to swap us from logistics to base building, that'll be awesome.
Alright.
Alright. What you munching on?
Bit of plain salt CCs, Doritos kind of thing.
Nice. Alright. Well, I have the required materials to build a spare craft bench. Do I have enough? And yes, our basic equipment workshop. These two buildings, and yeah, we definitely need base building. These two buildings are what you'll pretty much be using a lot in this game, especially the craft bench, depending until you automate everything. Because this just shows you how everything's built. And your equipment workshop allows you to make your portable miners for your big miners and everything like that.
Yeah. Your equipment stuff, you will always use. The workbench, you will eventually no longer need it.
Yeah.
But it is still handy to have around. Always have at least one in your base, or at least have the materials to make one, so that if it's required, and you need to just do something small, you can just go on and bada bing, bada boom.
So say for instance, like you have like, say, you need like 50 modular frames and you only have like 48. You're like, I'll just make 2 on the crafting bench, done. Alright.
Yeah.
So our...
Modular frames are a more advanced part than what we've got at the moment. They've got a few things you need to do. So let's just kind of keep it simple. We're just trying to make automated iron plates, iron rods, some wire, and some concrete. That's really the aim of the automation for this episode.
Yep. So what I'll do is I'll pick up this portable miner because I have the required materials to make a miner Mark 1.
Alright.
Thank God for that downed airship. Oh. Storage pod. Yeah, this is... Yes. This is your miner. This is what gets you... Obviously, it's a miner. This is what gives you your ore for automation. But this...
This is my miner. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Yes. This miner does 60 iron per minute, which is good to start off with. So I'll get all that set up. I'll get our basic thingos going whilst you're getting the copper underway.
I'm just running around collecting stuff, doing the little things in the background.
Yep.
The kind of boring stuff that like new players will have to do, but it's kind of just laborious, so I'll be handling all that.
Yep.
While HamNutz shows you all the exciting fun stuff.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I've just turned all those leaves and wood that we had whilst running around into biomass, and
Hi, Bean.
K10 has already done the biomass part for us. So he's
Yep.
put in the biomass burners the biomass. So that will
Yep.
now get everything set up for us to use our smelters and all
Biomass is a simple thing, just made from the leaves and wood that you've been collecting as you've been walking around.
I'm going to put this smelter in line with that. And with the smelter, it uses, obviously, put the iron or ingot recipe in. It uses 30 iron per minute for 30 ingots. So it's a 1-to-1. So 1 iron to 1 ingot. And a thingo is that you don't really need to follow it, but I like to do it because it makes it easier on me. Is I like to check like how much iron I'm making per minute so I can have everything set up how I want it. And also a fun fact, if you click the middle mouse button over like say the smelter, it will copy it.
Yes. Whatever you, except for a few very small things like the hub, you can duplicate an item, or at least have it ready to craft when you hit the scroll wheel.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna
Really handy if you're making multiples of something and it's just like, I need that one again, so just scroll wheel, click, boom, you got it.
All right.
Easy done.
Because we don't have the logistics done yet, so we can't use splitters or mergers just yet. So I'm going to use 2 miner Mark 1s into setting up this. I like to... Like, it's going to look like a spaghetti monster for now. Until we
This is the early stages. You're allowed to make a little bit of spaghetti.
You're allowed to make a little bit of spaghetti.
Yeah.
Alright, so both of these
Or if you really just don't care about doing things in an orderly fashion, you can do what I do and just make a giant spaghetti mess.
Yes, especially in your 400-hour world.
Yeah.
Alright. With that, I'm also going to place down some power poles.
The big spaghetti.
The part that's going to turn into the most spaghetti is your power lines, because as soon as you put them in, it's just like, okay, let's try and make this as neat as possible. Nope, never happens. I should know.
Power poles are one of those things of, if you're doing it in indoor factory, you can make it really nice and neat and OCD friendly. You're doing it outside, forget about it.
Yeah, just forget it. Just forget it. Alright.
Forget about it.
God damn it. Alright. So now I've powered up both of these miner Mark 1s, and they should be starting to mine. Coming out onto the conveyor belt in a minute. Or a few seconds, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yep.
Alright. starting to do its job. There it is, and there's our first set of iron ore.
Yay!
But I've got plenty of iron ore on me at the moment, so I'll just drop it into the
Oh no!
smelters anyway.
I'm going in the smelter. Help, Nuts! Save me! Save me!
Run!
No! I'm okay.
God damn it!
As I said, 2 idiots.
Yes. Alright. I'll get set up on our constructors to make our plates and screws.
Plates and rods at the moment. You turn the rods into screws.
Yes. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. There's part 1 of 2 for episode 1 of Satisfactory. Just had way too much footage on it, especially we're trying to be informative about it, but hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, whichever way you feel like. Glad you guys had a good time. I know I did, so did K10. So hopefully to see you guys in the next video. If so, we'll catch you later. Bye.